Both BC and Alberta delivered their provincial budgets late yesterday. British Columbia's finance minister unveiled a $4.2 billion deficit for this fiscal year, and the province expects deficits in the years to come, though it plans to reduce that to $3 billion in 2 years' time. The government also plans to target inflation with new spending measures on housing affordability and healthcare. Meanwhile, Alberta's 2023 budget continues to focus on economic growth and investments in public safety, education, and healthcare. The government is also projecting a $2.4 billion surplus. Now, that's less than previously expected. Earlier, we spoke with Travis Taves, Alberta Finance Minister and President of the Treasury Board, for more on Alberta's road to economic recovery.
We're seeing expansion in agri-food manufacturing and processing. Tens of billions of dollars are lined up in petrochemical processing here in Alberta, and that's on top of a strong resource sector. The oil and gas industry is, of course, getting its legs under it again. We're at an 8-year high in terms of drilling activity. We're expecting a 19% increase in investment in 23 there. Agriculture is strong, and the forestry sector is really delivered. So the economy is going well in Alberta. That's been a big part of the story to our fiscal recovery.
Well, as that economic pendulum swings back in the favor of Alberta, you've also seen a glow on the housing market there, Calgary being one of the only housing markets last year to post increases in prices year over year. Let's bring in Phil Soper, President and CEO of Royal LePage, for some perspective here. Is it any wonder when you've got kind of this bull market in energy that you're also going to see the Calgary housing market perk up?
Yeah, and nation-leading affordability. That's really what's driving the housing market. Calgary, Edmonton didn't see the extent of the pandemic excess that we saw in Vancouver or Toronto, for example. So they didn't have the overshooting, and their correction is much more modest. So it's a combination of things.
Let's talk about that affordability piece. Is that just straight up how much the average price of a home is compared to in Vancouver and compared to in Toronto? Is it relative to incomes? How do you think about that?
Yeah, it's you can buy a home in Calgary in the fourth quarter Royal LePage house price survey. The aggregate price of a property was about $600,000 in Calgary, about $1.1 million in Toronto, and $1.2 million in Vancouver. So call it 2 for 1. And we have seen a migration of people predominantly out of Southern Ontario into the West, into Alberta, during the pandemic and post-pandemic, and even out of British Columbia into Alberta, although I believe that'll be very short term. But in the medium term, we're going to continue to see people move from the high-cost Southern Ontario area to the West.
It's interesting because we definitely did see that, pulling up of the stakes to move to the West. And it was something that the government was actively encouraging. I was hearing on the radio in Ontario ads saying, come on over to Alberta. We don't have a lot of the issues that Ontario does.
I've got a kid who's a doctor, a recently minted doctor. Her fiance is a lawyer. They've moved to Calgary. I've got another kid who her and her husband, an engineer and a business person, are in the early stages of looking at relocating to Calgary. They're young people who will be able to afford a home in Ontario, but it's the cost of living is just so much lower in that part of the world. And they've done a good job, Alberta, promoting itself as, a place for youthful exuberance and enjoying the outdoors, that sort of thing. The message is resonating.
So do you think that Calgary will remain resilient in an environment where we are looking for a little bit more of a slowdown in the broader housing market in Canada?
Yeah, most of the slowdown has occurred. So we are starting to see the return to a normal spring market as we speak here at the beginning of March. The volumes of transactions right across the country are picking up. They're still muted compared to normal, but this environment where interest rates will move from front page headline story every day to a kind of a no news story will be the trigger that brings people back in the market. Certainly the demand is there with rising immigration and interprovincial migration, meaning rental markets are incredibly tight and tough and expensive.
I'm already starting to see signs in my neighborhood that pent-up demand just because there's no supply. And so maybe not back to the feverish, bidding wars and going double over asking and all kinds of, loose conditions, but certainly, people are looking for ways to get into the market, and I think part of what's aggravating that is just this lack of supply. You've not seen these people, this flood of people, put their homes up for sale.
No, it's absolutely right. We've been underbuilding relative to what we call household formation. You could call it population growth, but it's since 1995. So we've had decades of underbuilding, and the problem's gotten larger over time. This is a brief reprieve, this post-pandemic market correction. It won't be long till we're managing our way through multiple offer situations, in part because the country continues to grow. We're record levels of immigration, record levels of temporary residents, students, temporary workers, and there just isn't enough housing to accommodate everybody.
Is this ban, from your perspective, on foreign buyers in Canada putting a dent at all?
No, that's the short answer. If you peel back the covers and look at all the exceptions, take, for example, recreational property, completely an American can still buy a cabin in Canmore or Whistler or Muskoka or Tremblant. And that makes sense because Canadians are the largest purchasers of properties, foreign purchasers in Florida and California and Arizona. So that's all exempted. People who plan to be Canadian citizens, they're exempted. So there's a number of exemptions. And what remains is it's so small that it's not really doing anything except sending a political message.